ready. I would like to remind everyone to please make sure that our cell phones are turned to the off or vibrate position. Also, please be advised our city council meetings are broadcast on Comcast Channel 99, AT&T Uverse, and the City of Gadsden YouTube channel. This meeting of the Gadsden City Council will now come to order. The chair calls on City Clerk Alvin Nelson for the roll call.
Councilwoman Toles.
Here.
Councilman Williams.
Here.
Worthy.
Here.
Back.
Here.
Wilson.
Here.
Cannon.
Here.
And Reed.
Here.
We have a quorum present and the meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask everyone to please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to ask Councilman Back to lead the invocation.
Let us pray. Most gracious and Heavenly Father, we come to you today, Father, with this grateful hearts for all that you do for us individually and as a city and as a county. God, we're always grateful for how you love us. God, we just ask you today to be with us as we do city business. And may the words of our mouths and the meditations of our heart be pleasing unto you. Pray all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the work session and city council meeting that was held on June 15th.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
The chair will entertain a motion to ratify payments of accounts of the week of June the 11th through the 17th.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
Proclamation. Unfinished business, we have none. We have item 9, a resolution authorizing engagement with George Ford. This is for services related to document management at Forest Cemetery at a rate of $75 per hour. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
No move. Second.
Is there any discussion?
Madam President, I just have one question. Can I get just a little clarification on that? What is document management? I mean, what are they?
It's kind of a long story.
Sorry.
We had an employee at the cemetery who kept up with the cemetery plots. And she was able to do a pretty good job. She's no longer there. And we have no one else trained. The process or how they keep up with this is arcane. And
You mean the actual ownership of the plots? And
yes, because what happens is you have John Doe who buys 5 burial plots, okay?
Uh-huh.
He has children, he dies. He should record those at the courthouse, and there's a record of it. And then when he dies, his will, within his probate, it passes them on to children, and that's documented in the house too. You know how that works, that never happens.
Yeah.
So like 4 generations into it, and luckily, someone had the forethought to document that John Doe bought 4 plots here. And someone's got to be able to piece together the process to where we are today, 4 generations today. And the lady who was there was able to do that. But her experiences were not passed along to the next.
Gotcha.
And so right now there is, and we looked at it, there's a stack of files about that high of questions like that, which would essentially, and Jen came to me and we sat down and we looked at it. And it took us really kind of about, a while to get through file number 1. And I quickly realized it'd take time to shut down for a couple of weeks to go down there. So what I did is I reached out to a lot of retired paralegals and retired lawyers, and one of them, George, is retired. He knows the stuff like back in his hand.
Yeah.
This will be something temporary, get a system in place, which procedures will be now written in place, so it can be passed down to employees, and we don't have this happen.
Good deal.
How much negotiating room in that rate?
Well, this is, that's a good rate.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, of course, the lawyer thinks so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, they want to show it up with time, but we did want to see it now. So, that's what we did. It's going to, it's not going to be, it should be, he's going to work a couple of days a week. And then should be a few weeks. And then it's not gonna be long.
Will we get notification when it's completed? Will we get notification when it's completed?
If you have. Yes, I'll.
I'll ask.
So the issue of him doing this pro bono never came up, huh?
Well, we tried. But it's like, you can't get an expert for someone who knows it. I mean, it's like the lady who used to run it, could call me on the phone, and she, and the issue now, is where it can be a phone call with me and we answer. I'm not throwing Jen under the bus, but she has no background in this, and so when she came to my office with these files, it took us about 45 minutes just to get down to the issue what's going on. And there's some things I need to talk to Lisa about too, because we have all these records are kept on index cards. And if there's ever a fire or something happens, that's when we there's some chaos. I think that you got a software, a computer system go down there. I forget it's $18,000 or something like that. Which someone probably needs to start looking into that and look into the foundation, maybe partnership or something like that.
Yeah, well, there.
Doesn't fall in the legal part, but that needs to be looked into, and that's going to be part of this process. And number one is we're going to have policies and procedures in place. We're going to draft the policies and procedures, so when the question comes up, you turn the books, and here's what I did, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And also get us on track, because right now, we're worried that someone comes in and we might bury someone who's not supposed to be there, or someone in the wrong place, and we want to try to rectify that so that.
All right. Thanks for that explanation. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
We have one no. What was that? That was,
Wasn't me this time,
I couldn't tell where that came from. Motion carries to adopt.
The next item is a resolution authorizing agreement with Comcast, and this is a 2-year agreement for internet, telephone, and television service for the new East Gadsden Community Center located at 912 Wilson Avenue when it's completed. The installation fee is $119.95, and the monthly rate is $398.05. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries to adopt.
Our next item is a resolution authorizing conveyance of surplus property, and this transfers ownership of an antique fire truck and protective awning owned by the Gadsden Museum of Arts to Steve Lambert for the display at the old East Gadsden Fire Station being used as a museum. The chair will entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, is this the fire truck and awning behind the Alabama City old fire station on Michigan?
I can answer that. This is a fire truck and a protective awning that the Alabama City Historical Society bought, and when we went out, we donated this to the Museum of Art.
But
And
it's
of
still
course,
sitting behind the.
Same one. They don't have any use for it, so now we're going to preserve it as a historical site in East Gadsden.
Okay. Clerk, did we vote?
Not yet.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Our first reading is an ordinance authorizing conveyance of property located at 1515 Roosevelt Avenue. Carrie Leon offered to pay $200 for the property. This ordinance has been presented today for first reading, and the council will vote on it next week. New business, we have none. Department reports, we have Mrs. Tracy Pondick from the RSVP on tax assistance program.
I just want to say thank you for supporting us. Y'all have always supported RSVP, and especially this program. It is the biggest thing that we do as a group. And just so you know, these are volunteers that prepare taxes. But every year they are certified and have to pass a test before they can do this. So they know what they're doing. And we do taxes for free for just about anybody, but our target audiences are low income and senior citizens. So you don't have to be a senior citizen, and you don't have to be low income. We try to cover just about as many people as we can. This year, we filed 2,403 federal tax returns, and that got those people back $3,126,353 in refunds. Since it's a free service, all that money goes right into their pockets. And we do this at 8 different places all over Etowah County and even Cherokee County. But if you go by zip codes, 771 of those people were in a Gadsden zip code, and a little over 1.2 million of that dollars came back to people in Gadsden. So I appreciate your help and your support, and thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other department reports? We have a citizen request, Larry Suttle, City Services.
Good morning. My name is Larry Suttles. I live at 2322 Hill Avenue. I want to just cover something about something I brought up with the city maybe roughly about 2 months ago concerning Airport Industry Drive. They have done a wonderful job after I brought it up. They came out the next day. They've been working on the situation. It rained real bad this morning between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock. I was out there this morning taking pictures. I didn't get a chance to get them developed this morning. But I want to say the wonderful job that they did, and I really appreciate it, because it was putting people in a lot of danger. And for it's been raining lately, the water been going, it's been receiving, but it haven't been coming over the curb and coming into the road where nobody could drive through and had to go on around on the other side. So I do want to give the city a big hand for that and getting on it as quick as they did. And really, the citizen of Gadsden, I know the people that work out there really appreciate that. And also, Councilman, you was also stating that when we talked about this, we might not have enough money the city might not have enough money. Until we run out of money, some of these ditches and stuff and drains, they haven't been, worked on in years. So we need to still attack these stuff and continue to do that so no one mess up their car and stuff like that. Cause this stuff is liable to the city once these folks tear up their car. So if we continue to work together, we can get it done. And I'd like to thank you one more time very much. And Ms. Toll, with that orange on, I think you want to join Gadsden High.
I'll stay with Carla.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll have Mr. Cole. I had stated in pre-council, it's not on mine, but he's want to talk about recruitment of blacks and women for the fire and police department. Mr. Cole.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Last week, I met with the director of, I met with several individuals. I met with the fire chief. I met with the Mr. Blackwell over at the board. I also met with the director of personnel here. And we're all on the same page as trying to recruit more blacks, and women to the police and fire department. And not only that, to the city of Gadsden as well. And the process we're going to take, the fire chief and the police chief has agreed, we're going to go out in different areas of the city to try to recruit blacks. The only issue is, and I want to set this for the record, that the small number of blacks that we have in both fire and police department is not because of any racism or any discrimination. It's because the people do not want the jobs. In the fire department, there are only 3 blacks. One of those blacks, which this would have been a big boost for recruitment, is Jeffrey Morris. He applied for the assistant fire chief position. He was hired by the city in 1991, and he was passed over by 2 whites, and these whites were hired after him, and he was promoted to commander 2 years before one of the gentlemen and 3 years before the other. But the illegal Civil Service Board saw fit not to put him in that position. And the so-called reason was because he did not test as high as the other individuals. It has been the practice for years that the person with the seniority will always get these positions. Plus, he was serving as the acting assistant fire chief. So it was a slap in the face to him, and it also was a slap in the face to blacks by this illegal service board. You wonder why I keep saying that. I'm saying that because it's true. Under the state of Alabama, Gadsden does not qualify or meet the standards to have a civil service board. You can check it for yourself. I have sent this information to 2 attorneys and also to 1 judge. So it may be time to disband this board since they do not want to act in the interest of all of the citizens of Gadsden. But that's a statement for another day. The police department have 7 blacks, and we want to try to change the issue. But one thing I'm asking from the mayor and the council, we need some help while we out here recruiting. I do know, and it is a shame and disgrace, that the city of Attala pay its firefighters more than the city of Gadsden. But when you're trying to up the rates and you have to do all the pay raise to everybody, that would hit the budget. But one thing that could help, and if you really just look into it, is to give a signing bonus to these individuals who we want to apply. And I came up with the figure, just out of random, of $5,000. There were about 17, it may be a little less than that, openings in the police department, probably 10 in the fire department. You're talking about 27 individuals or 27 spots. And you do that by $5,000, you're talking about $135,000. A one-time thing, and it would only go to individuals who wants to become firefighters and police officers. Now that's a nice signing bonus, and you can fix it up any way you want to. I thought of another number, but I know the mayor wouldn't go along with this because he's quite conservative when it comes to the fund. If there was a $10,000 signing bonus, you're talking about $270,000, and that's a one-time hit for the budget, and it will only go for the individual who have applied. You can set up all standards and whatever. I can't go and talk to these 19-year-olds over at the school and tell them what they're going to get 30 years later for retirement, or you can get a car to ride around in. They're doing that now. We need to have something to offer them. So I do really want you to consider giving some type of signing bonus. And if it is $5,000, I think people would jump to that, and I believe your roles would pick up. Now, the police department is suffering. The fire department is also suffering. And I do understand we want the director of finance to get involved. She go around complaining about overtime for the police and fire department. There is not any amount that you can put on money that's when you're trying to serve the safety and welfare of all the citizens of Gadsden. So it's not a matter of how much money. These police officers are working 12-hour shifts. The fire department, they're working 24-hour shifts, and then have to turn around and work overtime because you don't have enough officers doing the job. So hopefully we can get together on something of this and make everything work out. I hear my time is up. Thank you very much.
Thank you. At this time, we'll have remarks by the mayor and council. Mayor, you have any remarks? Councilman Worthy, you have any remarks?
No, I just wish us a way that we could recruit more blacks on the police and fire department, because we need to have diversity. But I've talked to some of these young people. Right now, they just don't want to work in the police and fire department. But that's a good idea, Mr. Cole, that $5,000 signing bonus, that might help. But we got to change people's mindset. And in the city, we got to do a little bit better about caring and for our employees and helping our employees. So maybe then they would want to become firemen and police. But it ain't just blacks. You can't even get the whites to take the test and application put in for fire and police department. So, but we really do need it, because we got to have diversity, because we come from different perspectives on life, so we can look at things different. So, and I tell these young people, when you get a ticket, when you get in trouble or something, who you gonna call? So we need more on the departments. Like you said, we got 7 in the police department and 3 on the fire department. We got to have more representation. Our city is 43, 44% black. We got to do better. And it's not just on the city, it's on our community also. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you.
Councilman Cannon?
I don't have anything today.
Councilman Reed?
Yeah, I want to thank Lee for Park Cemetery, bringing all that up to date. I think it's a good idea, the way it's been going all these years. I think Barbara's got 8 or 9 lots out there, and the way it's handled on those little cards, you're right. It could be destroyed tomorrow. But y'all are going to record those when you bring it all down to the ones who own them to date?
We don't record it, it's supposed to be the owners.
Okay, so you get to that point, then they can report it. Okay, that's good. July the 4th, fireworks. It's starting a little bit early, but I'm getting calls already. Are we going to have fireworks? Yes, we are. July the 4th, 9 p.m., and they will be going. Yeah, Netherwell Patriots Association. Thank you.
Councilman Wilson?
I don't have anything, Madam President.
Councilman Batt?
Thank you, Madam President. Just wanted to say thank you to our Parks and Recreation Department. They put on the Barbarian Challenge this weekend at Nakalula Falls. Over 1,000 participants. I think they came from 3 or 4 different states probably, or even more. And just was another great event at the falls, and a lot of activity up there. Just a lot of work done by Parks and Recreation. Our folks build those courses. They build the things that the participants run over and through and under, and it's a Herculean effort. Our fire department, first responders were there. Chief, thank you for having people on hand in case somebody needed some assistance. And it was just, I think, just another good weekend up at Nakalula Falls. What a great resource. Also wanted to just say, you've heard me talk about travels in the rendering plant and looking at plants. I took a trip last week to Arkansas to go to a city that has 2 rendering plants with modern technology. And I just, I'm a hands-on kind of guy. I did research on the internet, but I also wanted to go see, and I wanted to talk to the average person on the street, city officials, and folks like that. So just to let you know that I did that. There'll be a report forthcoming, just to let folks know what is out there in that regard. It's not a commercial for anybody. It's just fact-finding mission, and and I learned quite a bit. It was very interesting, and it's you know, I haven't been, gosh, with COVID, I haven't been out of Gadsden, it seems like, in over a year, so it just kind of felt good to go somewhere and to see another town. So just wanted to let you know that. Thank you, city, for providing the van so I could go do that. So I believe that's all I have. Thank you.
Councilman Williams?
Thank you, Madam President. As it relates to police and fire recruiting, I'll just, offer up one comment. I think it's probably been, 2 years ago that we actually had the conversation to talk about resources, and signing bonuses were brought up at that time to talk through that as an option, and as well as other suggestions that were made. So I don't want people to think that by any stretch that signing bonuses are an untapped and new idea relative to how to recruit. I think there were some limitations at the time that may not exist anymore, but that's just something we'll have to look at. So I happen to agree with all those who feel that we should consider that, because I think it's something that we do need to look at. But at the time that we brought it up, again, there were some limitations. We don't have a lot of the flexibility that the private sector has in that regard. So there are some things that we just have to walk through and look through. But I think the idea of actively sourcing for minority and female candidates in those two departments is something that we need to continue to push. And I know the police chief. I've talked to him for a number of years about that, and I know he does it. There's no doubt about it. And I'm getting to understand that our new fire chief engages in some of the same activity as well. So not anything that I worry about in terms of the effort. What I do concern myself with, and it's a societal issue, is whether or not our young people want to deal with the level of scrutiny and ostracism that comes with being a police officer and a fireman. Those folks are out there putting their lives on the line for us, and generally speaking, the communities that they're looking to serve don't appreciate, to a large degree, some of what goes into those professions. And so it makes it difficult for somebody to wake up one day and decide, you know what, I don't want my neighbors to like me. So that's tough. That's tough. That's a tough one. And so we've got to get beyond that. We've got to turn the corner and get those two professions. And there's some work on both sides of it, but we've got to get to the point to where those two professions are more so appreciated in our communities than they are right now. And I'm open to working with our community to get there, and I'm definitely open to working with the officers and the firemen to get there as well. That's all I have, Madam President. Thank you.
Call for a motion to adjourn.
Second, third, fourth.